first walking video of 2025, this somewhat auspicious year. Mind you, every year is auspicious these days. Maybe it always was, but certainly now it's auspicious. A lot of traffic passing by, going up to Ski Mountain. A lot of people coming from out of town around this time. Go up to the Ski Mountain to go and enjoy themselves. Get a bit of snow time, get a bit of downtime, get a bit of out time. So, somebody asked this morning on YouTube, how does one go about this inner work? How does one start this inner work? And, here we are. Come on. Good morning.
Morning.
Come on, buddy. So, how does one go about inner work, doing the inner work to open, deepen, etc., etc.? Oh, well, and in some ways, there are two possibilities that I'll talk about right now, and there are lots. The first is there has to be a catalyst of some sort. A kind of idle curiosity won't do it. Yeah, maybe it'll start something, but not really. There has to be something more than idle curiosity. So the conditions within have to be as if kind of ripe by that time or by this time. And then there needs to be some sort of catalyst. A catalyst can come in any way, shape or form. A catalyst can come through some crisis of the self, either, let's say illness or job dissolution or crisis in the family or some kind of breakdown in some sort of way. Some of these breakdowns, some of these catalysts, some of these crises happen at various times in our lives. Saturn return, astrologically speaking, Chiron return, second Saturn return, these all bring about opportunities for deepening. One of them happens around 27, 28, which is why we see so many pop stars crash and burn at 27 years old, that kind of time, because there's a call to go deeper. And another one happens that's kind of, I think, 49 years old, what we call the midlife crisis, but it's really Chiron return. And all of these can bring crisis, which is catalyst for something deeper, for some journey inwards, where some seize that opportunity, turn towards their suffering, decide to let go of a lot of things or change or transform, and a lot of people don't. Such is the way of life. No one knows why, but it certainly happens. But in many ways there has to be some sort of catalyst. The pain within, the suffering within, some sort of small chink of awareness, some glimpse, some moment of insight almost, a catalyst. Or else it could come from, somebody else. Somebody can take you to the water, as it were. Still, you're going to have to drink, but somebody's going to have to, maybe point you in a certain direction. For me, in a way, that came twofold. One, through my then partner. This is back in the, I would say, early 90s. I was getting more and more messed up with drink and really falling into probably quite an abyss of drunkenness. It's getting out of control. And she called me to the line, said, either you do something about this or I'm gone. And this was after a long relationship of 9 or 10 years. And there was a lot of love there. She loved me a lot. And either you seek some help or we're done. And that was a catalyst. That was a throwing down the gauntlet. The universe, in the form of my then partner, throwing down the gauntlet and saying, it's time, buddy, do something, or things could spiral and get worse. And for some reason that spurred me into action, and it started that phase of my own particular journey, which was to go and seek help and to gain some insight through that therapy, alcohol therapy it was, that I was actually drinking for a reason, to avoid the pain of my past. Until that time, I actually hadn't seen that. I've been doing it for probably 15, 20 years, and I hadn't actually seen that. Somebody had to point it out to me. But the second time was that a woman said to actually me and my partner then, you've got to come to this place, this village, sort of tribal village. You've got to come and do this ceremony, ritual thing. You won't know anything, you won't have done anything like it before in your life, and it will be freaky and it will be challenging, but I can assure you it will be beautiful. Trust me on this. First year, I was like, I sensed trouble. Said, no, I'm not doing that. That's I don't know, just intuitively felt I couldn't face it. Well, the next year, it was like 1995 or something. The same invitation came along, and we said, okay, let's do it. That was a catalyst. It was an invitation. Some people need invitations to start the journey. And that, boy, oh boy, did that open the door for me. It started the journey. It opened the door to something, that really, I would say, probably the process of undoing, of going inside, of releasing old wounds, pains, traumas, hurts. It took, it took 15, 20. Still, once the door opens and you go in, the journey just continues. There's no destination that you reach. But there's the catalyst. Something has to happen. The door has to open. But the second way, if that is too mysterious and too kind of weird to get your head around, is, a double-pronged approach. If you really are kind of serious and you know that there's stuff inside that needs attending to, and that you're, too lost in your mind or too lost in your emotions or too shut out from your feeling nature, or you're too numb to the world, or there's too many arguments going on inside, etc., 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 whatever it is, and you want to deal with it, then you start to get wise. Say, okay, We're going to do two things. Meditation and attending to what's happening on the inside. Meditation and catharsis, we could call it. Meditation and inner work. Meditation and therapy. Meditation and body work. Meditation and cathartic release in the form of rebirthing. Meditation and anything that gets you inside the mainframe. Anything that gets you inside the constellation of yourself. Inside the sort of architecture of who you are. But the good thing about that double-pronged, if you like, approach is that you keep returning to meditation. Not meditation that's going to take you anywhere, but just a meditation that allows you to fall into nothing. Hey, come on. Sorry, my boy has got a... Hold on. Peyote, that's a deer that has been well and truly devoured by coyotes or even a wolf, I don't know, something. So, my advice, if you like, would be to find a place to seek some help with these things, if you like. Meditation is okay to do on your own, but it's better really to do in a group. It's better to find some meditation practice somewhere, and because it disciplines you. There's a certain discipline. You go to find a meditation class, not a fancy one, not some woo-woo one, just a real one. Zen is great. Find a Zen practice somewhere. You don't have to turn Zen, but you can if you want. It's pretty good. But Buddhist or Zen practice that gets you into just being able to kind of sit, silence, let it drop, and keep on letting it drop. Yes, you can support that with solo meditation practice, which is all good because it helps to fall in. It helps you to listen to the noise that's going on in your inner world, the noise that's going on inside you, and then take action. So it's stillness, really, of meditation and action of what we could call catharsis, of releasing emotional baggage. I haven't yet met anybody in the Western world, and actually in the Eastern world, but certainly in the Western world, with all of our modern psychological issues and conditioning, I haven't met anybody who hasn't actually got some emotional baggage that they need to clear. That's just it. That's just the simple fact of the matter. So, clear that. Start to do that. But again, we go right back to the beginning. You have to want it. You have to want change without knowing what that change is. You have to want transformation. A fire has to ignite within. The catalyst has to kind of activate something in you. It's like it sort of, usually comes in a way from the outside, because left to our own devices, the ego self is lazy and usually playing it safe. when it's on the path of transformation, because it's got a lot to protect, and it's got you to protect, the fictitious you. Awareness, whatever you can do to start to gain awareness into what is driving you, what inner mechanisms are driving you, what's the hidden belief systems inside you, what's really driving this thing you call yourself. That's what you're going to want to be looking for, and you'll find some of that through dropping into stillness. No action, no movement, because then awareness is allowed to, it opens up, and you start to see with a clearer eye. But that's not enough, because there's an action that needs to be to take place, and that action is to start to unearth inner emotions, the inner strategies that play out in your life, because they'll be there. A blend of these two things, these two qualities, stillness and action, meditation and catharsis, not doing and doing. This is the blend. This is the answer. This is the answer. Hope that helps.